Good evening, and welcome to Conversations with the Candidates on Houston Media Source TV. I'm Gene Preuss with the League of Women Voters of the Houston area. On this broadcast tonight, we have candidates from District D, and we'll have the opportunity to pose some questions to them and hear their response so that we can know a little bit more about them and also so that we can be better informed voters, because they're going to be talking about issues that affect their district and the city at large. So we're going to start right away with our candidates, and for the first questions, you have 2 minutes. Please introduce yourself and tell us what is the most important issue facing District D. And we're going to start with Anthony Allen.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate you having me on. My name's Anthony Allen. I've been a lifelong resident of District D. And as I see it, the most important thing in District D is apathy. We've gotten to the point that we're just happy or we're just complacent with whatever goes on in District D. There's things that go on from one side of the district to the other because the district is so large. We can start on the south side with the needs that they have, which include flooding. We can start around the hobby area, which having food deserts. We can start with trash in Sunnyside. We can start pretty much all over the place with problems that exist. But I think what the biggest thing is that we've just gotten used to it and we just say it's okay. And I'm running to change that. I'm running to get involved in some of those issues and to do some things about them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Travis McGee.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my name is Travis McGee. I'm a lifetime resident of District D, 45 years, 6 months to be exact. The most important issues are crime, drainage, and education. Crime and drainage and education, once again, but the crime and education go hand in hand. Most of the crime is being committed by school-age kids. Most of the crime keeping increasing because the police is not investigating the crime in the area. It's way too many people in jail that shouldn't be there, and it's made too many people out of jail that should not be out of jail. It's just been neglected for a long time. Sunnyside was annexed in the city of Houston since 1956. It's been neglected by the city of Houston since 1956. It's time for some accountability now. The drainage issue that's part of the voters' fault also because they voted for a bogus bond back in 2010 with no who, what, where, how in the language. Less than 50% of the fees have been actually spent on the drainage as of this point. Bike trails and things like that have taken precedence over safety and drainage and things like that. So all that can change with the right people in office.
Thank you very much. Rashad Cave.
Yes, first, Rashad Cave. I just want to thank the League of Women Voters for their active approach in making sure that they empower voters as well as speak up for democracy. And so I just want to take the moment and just truly say to all the 400 supporters and members of the organization, thank you not only for this forum, but for the work that you do in the community. My name is Rashad Cave, born and raised in District D, asking for your love, your support, your vote to be your next city council member for District D. I'm truly running to be a bridge between an older generation that's looking for a glimpse of a community that they once loved and a younger generation that can't find themselves in that very same equation. In order for us to have that, change must take place. That change has to look different. It has to sound different. It actually has to be different. And I am that change. I'm educated. I have an undergrad degree in business marketing with a concentration in sales. I have a master's degree in political science. I'm a member of my civic club, which is really important because what that says is that I worked in my community first before ever asking for a vote. I'm a father. I'm a business owner. But most importantly, I work for the city of Houston as a city council liaison for the Department of Neighborhoods. If you stop and listen, 311 states that the #1 complaint with District D is trash. And so you have my commitment to continue to fight to make sure that we clean up our community and make sure our district is the safest to work, live, and play.
Thank you very much. Dontrell Montgomery.
It's actually Dontrell Montgomery.
Dontrell, I'm sorry.
It's no problem. My name is Dontrell Montgomery. For the past 14 years, I've been in transportation. While working in transportation, I earned a certification in project management principles. The most pressing issue with me for District D is an organizational model. Currently, District D does not operate as one organization. It operates as 12 different entities, which is the 12 super neighborhoods. This is a failed model. It is time to adopt a organizational structure that will allow us to identify the problems and systematically improve the dimensions that are key to a healthy district simultaneously. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry I can't read my own writing. I apologize for that. Marlon Christian.
How you doing, and thank you for having me. My name is Marlon Christian, and I'm running for City Council member District D. I've been in District D my whole life, 43 years outside of the time that I served in the military. I spent 7 years in the military, and that's the only time I've been away from District D. District D is my heart, my soul, and I really love District D, and I want to make it a difference. I would like to address the part that we have so much crime in our district at this time. We really need to crack down on the amount of crime that we have in our district. We need to come together as a community and build up our community as one and give our children something to do outside of joining gangs and things like that. We want to empower them with different programs and different outings so that they don't have to turn to gang violence and such. We also need to come together as one with the Houston Police Department so that our police department can look like how we look when they're patrolling our district and our neighborhoods, so we can all come together as one and make it a better place for us to live.
Thank you very much. Ken Moore.
Thank you. First of all, happy birthday, Houston. 186 years. We've done some work, but we still have more work to do. Really quick, thank you to the League of Women Voters for putting this together and having a forum to get to know the candidates. My name is Ken Moore. I am a lawyer, an educator, an advocate, and who is really passionate about serving people and helping people, and that's my sole reason for running and seeking your vote. What I want the viewers to know about me is that I am not a native Houstonian, but I've lived, worked, played, even been a victim of carjacking, all while living here in District D. I have served the community in the best way that I know how, and that is through legal means, volunteering with Houston Volunteer Lawyers Association, volunteering with the Houston Lawyers Association to help underprivileged people who can't afford an attorney have an attorney and have that voice. One of the biggest issues, because District D does have more than just one issue, I believe, is economic development. We need to bring more businesses back into the district so the constituents have a place to work. And to do that, that encompasses a lot of different issues like safety and crime. So we have to have our district safe to bring the businesses in. We have to preserve and beautify our district so people will want to come in and bring in businesses into the district. And I thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dennis Griffin.
Thank you so much to the League of Women Voters and everybody at home who's watching this. I'm so excited that we have so many organizations in Houston that are active and want people to turn out and know, even at the most local level, that there are people running for them. I'm Dennis Griffin, a candidate for Houston City Council in District D. I'm a union representative and labor organizer at the County Hospital District. If you've been to Ben Taub, Quentin Meese, MLK recently, you probably saw me running around helping folks get higher wages, better benefits, and better working conditions. I'm proud to be the youngest candidate in this race at age 24 and one of the youngest people to ever run for the Houston City Council, because I know that the future we want to see is our responsibility. It's easy for people in my generation to sit on the sideline and do nothing, but we know that we're going to be the ones living here, raising families, and building the future. So it's time to step up. And lastly, I'm a proud resident of the 3rd Ward. I live right off Southmore and Sampson, which gives me a great window into the most pressing issue in the district, and that's lack of economic opportunity and moving up the ladder of opportunity for a lot of our people. From the young people who are stuck working low-wage, contract, part-time jobs in many parts of the district, to the seniors on fixed income who are struggling to deal with the ever-increasing property values, and everyone who is worried if they're going to be able to afford the next major storm or hurricane that rolls through. I'm ready to take all the fight that I do in the labor movement up there to City Hall, because we have real issues we have to address. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Carolyn Evans-Shabazz.
Good evening, and thank you very much for this opportunity. I am Carolyn Evans-Shabazz, and I am currently an elected official. I'm the chairman of the board of the Houston Community College. I certainly have served my constituents in that capacity, but I do live in District D and have always lived in District D. And I don't want to make it seem like District D is just crime-ridden, because crime is everywhere. But certainly safety is one of the hierarchy of needs. And so therefore, I'm going to be very focused in my answer, because that's what you asked. What was one of the most important? And that would be crime and safety. Well, I don't believe that we should just necessarily look at police protection or even video cameras and such, because they can document the crime. I think we're going to have to actually get a pool of people that are going to go out as activists and psychologists and sociologists, because hurt people hurt people. And we're going to have to go and meet them head on. And along with some of my colleagues, the economic development piece is going to be very, very important, because we're going to have to offer incentives. People are not going to just get out of gangs because you tell them they shouldn't be doing that. You should get out of a gang. We're going to have to offer them something, and I'm hoping that we can get the community together to offer them some job opportunities. And certainly we have to do something with our educational model, because any city that does not care about the education of their constituents is not going to thrive. And so certainly I have a background in education, and I will bring that to the Horseshoe. And I'm, again, very happy to be here. I'm Carolyn Evans-Shabazz. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Andrew Burks.
Thank you, Gene, and thank you, League of Women Voters, for your continued support and activism in getting the vote out and letting people know exactly who's running for office. I'm Andrew C. Burks, Jr., your former Houston City Council member at large, position 2. The main problem we have in Houston, Texas, is gentrification. Gentrification is taking over our neighborhoods and it's moving people out. I was proud to say that on City Council I was able to get the tax exemption for our seniors raised up now at $260,000. Gentrification hurts our people who've lived in this district for many years. I'm a native Houstonian, born right here in born in Herman Hospital. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran, air traffic control. At the same time, in knowing those stringent jobs and being very patient and being very skillful and listening, I learned how to listen. I'm the associate pastor of BB Tabernacle Christian Methodist Episcopal Church. I do things the right way, I try. The problem that we have in District D with gentrification, with no economic development, with foreign companies coming into the district and taking the money and leaving out and not putting anything back into the district, with problems also with our tax increment zones. We have downtown tax increment zones, and we have the Galleria, to name a few, and those zones were designed for low-income people who were hurting for the build-up, the growth of their communities. Well, that's something we have to address now. So I'm Andrew C. Burks, Jr., and I'm asking for your vote for Houston City Council District D, and I'm the last name on the ballot.
Okay, thank you very much. Carla Braley.
Hello, my name is Carla Braley, and I am currently number 5 on the ballot and running to serve as the next City Council member of District D. Currently, I'm a professor of sociology at Texas Southern University. I'm also the vice chair of the Texas Democratic Party. I have served as an educator for 20+ years at pretty much every level. I believe that the most critical problem issue facing District D is quality of life. Quality of life touches on issues that are relevant to accessibility, gentrification that is currently occurring. When you talk about gentrification, you also have to look at just growth in general. And so I think it's very important that we have smart growth, those who are prospering continue to prosper, but those who have been displaced, that we encourage programs that help them to maintain their property, and that we work on issues that are directly related to not only affordable housing, but small business incentives. And while expecting those incentives to move forward, I also think it's very important for social responsibility to take place with the entire district. quality of life will include us taking care of enriching our communities, where we are enriching our students, our seniors. One of the most critical hours of juvenile delinquency occurs between like 3 o'clock and 6 p.m. And so it is important for us to provide programs that deal with best practices that ensure that people are safe across the board. So I believe that quality of life and accessibility is going to be very important for District D. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we go to Nissi Hamilton.
Hello, Jean, and thank you so much for having me, as well as the League of Women Voters. You guys are awesome. I am Nissi Hamilton, running for Houston City Council, District D. I'm 31 years old. I have 7 children, and they call me the Claire Huxtable of District D, and I'm very proud of that. So thank you, District D, for welcoming me. I haven't always lived in District D because I experienced about 10 years of homelessness as a child, but I am so proud to be a first-time homeowner in District D, buying my land and my property. So thank you so much for that opportunity to end homelessness with home ownership. I am also an unapologetically African-American woman who served 8 years in the United States Navy, and I am notably a veteran, and I'm so very proud of that. I also have 4 degrees, and I served in not only in the country, but in the classroom as well, and I'm very proud of that. But I'm running for Houston City Council District D because some of the issues that affect District D, and number 1 issue would be animal homelessness. We need to establish animal mobility, animal shelter, and decrease some of the animal homelessness, as well as some of the animal incidents of cruelty that we have going on in District D. I want to thank you to Crime Stoppers, as well as to the Humane Society, for working so evidently hard with me to making sure that we come up with an action plan to make sure that our seniors feel safe going down the sidewalks, that our children feel safe walking back and forth to school, that our parents feel safe getting inside of the vehicles. Education is a priority to me, and I did experience homelessness as a student. Our student homelessness has gone up and it's gone through the roof, and that also affects our crime rate, which also affects businesses coming into District D. So I'm asking you for your vote and for your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you all the candidates for those wonderful answers. For the next question, we're going to go to a student question so we're going to go right over here and hear what the student has to ask you.
Howdy, I'm Marvin Deaver, an honors student at the University of Houston downtown. How do you plan on best representing your constituents in District D in City Council? Thank you, and good luck on the campaign.
And we'll start back over here with Ms. Hamilton.
I plan on being the greatest champion District D has ever seen in their life. District D is always talking about second chance this and second chance program this. Well, you're looking at somebody who has earned her second chance in society, and I'm asking you to give me that chance to be the champion that District D needs and deserves. I will fight. I have learned and sat with all of the mayors that are running, and I'm not afraid to tell them no. Have me on the seat, and I'm asking you for your vote so I can be a champion that District D needs.
Thank you very much. Ms. Braley.
Hi, I plan to love those who need to be loved in the district, and I plan to fight the issues that matter most. And so I believe that we have to meet our residents where they are. That includes increasing awareness, being an advocate, demanding accountability, and being and also moving towards having more accessibility for all those in the district at all levels and all demographics. It is very important to be able to love all those that are within our district and within the city of Houston, but also fight when there's a need of issues that must prevail us to move forward.
Thank you very much. Mr. Burks.
Thank you, Marvin. That was a good question, and good congratulations to U of H. The most important thing I see in our district right now is, as I stated earlier, is gentrification, but also it is civic club non-involvement. We have to have a plan, and I do have a plan, and a solution to get civic clubs back involved in the community whereas they will police their own neighborhoods and send those messages and information to City Council, to my office, so that I can act on that with the right city departments. Now, one thing that I do not like is the idea of budgeting. We always hear we don't have the money. But I served on council, and I can tell you this: the budgets that we see as council members are not accurate and they are not correct. I'm going back to council to do something about that and make sure that we see the right numbers so we can do the right thing for our people in our district.
Thank you very much. Ms. Evans-Shabazz.
Yes, Marvin, thank you for your question. As an elected official, I'm already serving the constituents. I'm the chairman of the board of the Houston Community College. And under my leadership, we have implemented free tuition for students graduating May of 2019. We have also implemented 50% tuition for people 55 to 64 and 65 and older. They will get free tuition. So not only am I serving the constituents of District D, but I'm serving the constituents of the whole city. We're also at HCC, we have not raised our taxes in 10 years. And so we are completing our services, helping our students to be able to matriculate, because I believe that education is one of our most important tools for us to change our lives. And so I'm also one that has walked with the community. I didn't just pop up and decide I wanted to run for council. I have been there. I have walked with them. I have supported them in their efforts, because I believe that if you do not support the people, they should not support you. And so certainly I have been there, walked with them, talked with them. Most of them know me, and I'm very humbled by that. But one other thing, I'm an elected official, and on my business card is my cell phone. And certainly if you need to reach out to me as a public servant, you shouldn't have to look for me. You can just get my card and call me, and I will answer and I will respond. And so that is how I plan to serve District D, and we also have MOUs with the University of Houston, so some of your classmates may have been former HCC students. Thank you.
Mr. Griffin, thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. So the question was, how do you plan to best represent the constituents of District D? I'm already a representative at my union. When people call me, I have to answer, and it's my responsibility to help them. And that's the same energy I want to take to City Council. So many people have big plans, big ideas, and those are important, but we have to remember that this is about representation, being out there and pushing constituent service. Sometimes it's just, there's a light out on my street, but because we know the people in the neighborhoods all across the city know their area better than any bureaucrat at City Hall will. So I'm going to push the energy we use in labor, that we build a coalition of community leaders, civic leaders, or even the people, if I'm blessed to win, the people on this stage, and deputize them to help us serve our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moore.
Thank you, and thank you to the student for the question. The question was, how are you best going to serve the constituents of District D? And I'm going to serve them best by being the leader and the legal advocate that I've always been. District D is going to need a strong leader and strong advocate, because District D is a very unique district. We have two powerhouse universities in Texas Southern and University of Houston. We have the medical center, we have the airport, we have the museum district. So it's very important that they have strong leadership and strong representation. I'm also going to be a leader by bridging the gap and having them know that I'm listening to their concerns, and I'm bridging the gap between the community and the civil servant that they're going to elect. We need strong leadership, and I'm willing to be that strong leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Christian.
Thank you. Well, first thing I want to do is I want to be three things. I want to be accessible, I want to have integrity, and I want to have an open door policy where they can reach me at any time that they need to. If they see my push card, my personal phone number is on my push card, where they can reach me at any time, call me about questions, concerns, or complaints that they have, and we're going to face those things head on. I'm a veteran of the United States Army, so we back down from nothing. We're going to take these things head on, fight to the finish, and give them exactly what they need in order to be successful in District D.
Thank you very much. Mr. Montgomery.
Thank you for the question. By taking an organizational approach, I will represent the constituents of District D by adding value. When you look at it from an organizational perspective, Shareholders expect the CEOs to add value to the organization, and that's what I plan to do. By adding value, we will identify and address the 9 dimensions of a healthy district to include inclusion, economic opportunity, spirituality and wellness, community leadership, and so on. Anyone that takes the helm of District D should be able to add value to the shareholders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Cave.
Awesome, awesome. Great question to the student. Also want to give kudos to U of H, which is definitely in our district as well. I think it's a great question because I think sometimes a lot of people have a misconception about City Council, especially District D. We see the council member on the unicorn on Tuesdays and Wednesdays in council or in front of the camera during the news. But what we fail to realize is that more than 70% of our issues in District D are constituent services. And so those are the issues that Ms. Johnson is calling because her trash is not up. Mr. Thomas is calling because he's seeing illegal dumping taking place in our community. It's abandoned buildings. It's true core issues. So in order to be a successful district council member, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, yes, you'll see me in a suit. But on Thursdays through Monday, you'll see me in some boots, jeans, and a T-shirt because I'll be outside of the office, not driving in my car, but with the constituents, with their constituent services. Rashad Cave.
Thank you very much. Mr. McGee.
Okay, it would be accountability, accessibility, and transparency. All those things are lacking in City Council. I keep doing what I've been doing for over 15 years as a community leader and a civic club leader. I've been in the area. I know all the issues. I will continue to fight for our schools, advocate for housing, advocate against illegal dumping, continue to tell people that those drainage fees was bogus and try to get that changed around. One of the first things you really have to do on council, though, is make it where the city councilman can actually put something on the agenda. It's the difference between leadership and dictatorship. Right now, we're under dictatorship. But if I'm representing the city, my District D, then I will have to be allowed to represent District D at its fullest. I'm not afraid. I'm not a yes man, anything like that. We need people that's going to be able to tell the mayor when he's wrong about something. Even when 300,000 plus voters vote for something, that's what we need to go with. So, in short, I will continue to do the things that I've been doing, but on a larger scale with more resources.
Thank you very much. Mr. Allen.
Well, thank you. Glad to be back on TV for a minute. Answer is simple. When we talk about representing the district, that means we have to be out there in the district. I believe in coalitions. I believe that super neighborhoods is a good thing. I think that civic clubs are a good thing, but I think we ought to even break it down even further. I think we need to have business coalitions as well. I think that we have to have spiritual coalitions as well. But we need to get those people involved like they've never been involved before. Like I started off by saying, I think our community has reached a point of apathy where anything goes, and we have to bring that back. We have to start over again with letting them know that their voice matters and get them involved in what we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for your responses to those questions that Mr. Devers pointed. So let me ask you another question. You have about a minute to respond to this. And this is a response to something that you and Mr. McGee had brought up here. Anthony, how are you going to work with members from around the city if you're elected to city council who have their own issues, their own agendas? How are you going to work with the other city council members?
You know, we don't know who's going to be on city council until after the election. But we've got to start forming coalitions now. I've already started doing that. I mean, I'm talking to the mayors, I'm talking to the at-large candidates, trying to understand where their ideas are, and I want them to understand mine. When I'm on council, the thing is that my constituents need to lead. I don't want to sit here and say my dream is to do this or my dream is to do that. I want coalitions to tell me what's out there for them, what their priorities are, and let's come together and make some decisions on that. It's going to be a hard task to do because, like you said, everybody's got their own little village and everybody wants to play their own little shell games. But we can come together to do those things, but it takes strong leadership to do that. I've been in business for a long time. I've been in corporate for a long time. I think I'm best suited for that job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. McGee, how would you respond?
Well, at the end of the day, the constituents have to come first. District D specifically has been neglected long enough. So therefore, I'm gonna work with my constituents the best way I can, but right is right and wrong is always gonna be wrong. If they don't identify the issues in my community, I mean, I don't know what to tell them about that. Going back to what I said earlier, transparency and accountability is a must, regardless whose seat is in, whose district is coming from. If we have 3 or 4 feet in our ward in our area, then that's what I'm gonna speak on. Sometimes people have cracked sidewalks and we don't have any sidewalks. Some people want chrome street lights and we just want all lights to come on at night. Sometimes people worrying about the police showing up all the time and we got to wonder if they're gonna show up at all. So I would make District D my priority. I mean, but I try to help everybody as much as I can in the entire city of Houston.
Thank you very much. Mr. Cave?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. You know, again, I currently work for the City of Houston as a City Council liaison for the Department of Neighborhoods. And your question was addressing the ability to work with other peoples, and especially leaders. And that's extremely important. As stated, we don't, as a council, you don't technically run the agenda, but because you don't run the agenda doesn't mean that you cannot get your point or your initiatives being able to be heard across the council. So I think it starts with building relationships with the powers that may be. As stated before, you know, you have some neighborhoods that want wider sidewalks, and you have some neighborhoods that don't have any sidewalks and are just looking for the accessibility. And so in some issues, we have a Houston that has and a Houston that doesn't have. I think District D is a district that is growing, that is vibrant, and I'm willing to fight for it by working with other leaders effectively. Doesn't mean that we'll agree upon everything, but that we will still come back to the table, treat each other with respect, and get the business done.
Thank you very much. Mr. Montgomery?
Thank you. What I want the voters to understand is that the issues of District D will not be fixed at City Hall. Okay, the issues will not be fixed at City Hall. The budgets that are allocated to the district members are to maintain the districts. District D is out of maintained status. It is now in a restorative status. 90% of my plan will rely on the residents. It won't be through City Hall. So the issues and the agendas that we will have to work with amongst the other council members will only be for our huge projects. We will not be spending money for things that we can do. I will not allocate money from our general service fund to cut down lots. We're gonna do it ourselves. We're not gonna play this game with the horseshoe. We're gonna get this done ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Christian?
Well, with this upcoming election, it's 125 people in the election, so it's going to be a lot of moving parts. So there's going to be a lot of new people coming into play when it comes to this new election. So we're going to all have to work together in order to get our agendas across and to get our things done. We have to prioritize and figure out what's the most important things at the time that we have to conquer. District D is my priority, and I do plan to make District D a better place, but we're going to have to work with the rest of the city in order to get those things conquered. Being in the military, you do understand that there's authority, but you do understand how to address authority when authority is not going in the way that they should go. So by that being said, I will stand up for our district and do whatever we need to do to get it fixed.
Thank you very much. Mr. Moore?
Yes, thank you. Great question. Like I said earlier, District D is going to need a strong leader to fight for the constituents and the needs of the district. The issues and needs of the museum district are not going to be exactly the needs of the Sunnyside district, or they're not going to be the needs of South Park, or they're not going to be the needs of Sagemont. So the person who's going to sit in that city council seat has to put the constituents of District D first and fight as hard for them as they can while working collectively with other city council leaders. I have done that in the courtroom, I have done that in the classroom, and I will be a strong advocate for the constituents of District D.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Griffith?
Thank you so much. Great question. So as a union representative, I'm always building coalitions with leaders, managers, things like that to get the job done. So I've spent a lot of this campaign building relationships with many of our at-large candidates because, you know, people forget that you don't just have one city council member. You have your district and 5 at-large council members. And so I want to work with them because we know District D has to take precedence, but a lot of times we don't see a lot of those at-large members necessarily coming down to our area. And I want to make sure I have the relationship with those at-large council members to get their focus in the area. The second thing I want to do with our staff and our civic leaders in the area is start an exchange program across the city with different districts and different people, because we know Houston's a laboratory of ideas and cultures and concepts, and if we can get our residents and our staff members, especially in the office, acquainted with the issues across the city, we'll have a great set of ideas that we can import into District D, modify, work with, and make sure it fits the needs of our constituents. But I believe we can do that right here in the city of Houston.
Thank you very much. Ms. Evans-Shabazz.
Yes, as an elected official, I already know that at the end of the day, I only have one vote. And I have to use that one vote to leverage it to get the things that we want done for the district. But I also know that we have to get along, not get along, go along to get along, but to get along so that we can have things where we can work with other people. And I have been elected twice as the board chair, which kind of speaks to my ability to bring people together. We have raised we have done a lot of things for our constituency, and it's because I have learned to work with other people, because I know that I can't go in and just beat my chest and protest and jump on the table. I have to know how to work with people, and that is a strength for me. In fact, when I win this position, if God grants that to me, I'm going to pull in all of these colleagues, because I don't always think that I'm the smartest one at the table. And perhaps that helps people to know that they can be validated, because they may know something that I don't know. And so certainly I want to engage everyone. I have respect for everyone. It doesn't matter how old or how young. And I know that it has to be a coalition where we get along with each other to try to make things work across the aisle, so to speak. Although it's nonpartisan, we do come from different areas of the city, and some people may not be able to realize what people in District D have to deal with. And so certainly we're going to work with them to let them know, because I believe that everyone's heart is in the right place, and we just need to work with them to see. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Burks.
Yes. Thank you, Gene. That was a good question. On City Council, I would let all of my colleagues know by giving them notes and paperwork on agenda items and what research that I've done on those items, whether I'm going to table them or whether I'm going to send them back to the administration for further consideration. Also, as a council member, in bridge building and making sure, I was able to bring Southwest Airlines Hobby Airport to make it an international airport. I did that by just those factors. Another thing, too, is that when you serve on city council, as an at-large council member, you represent the whole city, and you are voting with every council member on their needs. I also got upset when one council district, 2 districts, didn't get their budget funds as everyone else did, and I spoke out against that. I'm the type of council member that's hands-on and not afraid to speak out or speak up at any time. I'm Andrew C. Burks, Jr.
Thank you very much. Ms. Braley.
Hi. As a council member, I know how important it is to be able to work across the board. One of the first things I would do is identify the priorities of my district, District D. Identify those issues that we must be able to move forward. And after identifying those issues with constituents, then I would meet with other council members along with the mayor to find out what are their priorities, to see how we could work together, to identify a vision with foresight, to be able to know as those issues come up, how can we move forward together whenever possible. But at the same time, willing to challenge issues that are not in the best interest of District D. Currently, I'm the vice chair of the Texas Democratic Party. I have learned to work with many people across the board that may have, whether it's different values, whether it's different priorities. And in my former job, I served as the Executive Director of Community Affairs. So I understand what it means to work for constituent services, but at the same time work with various council members to move agendas forward. I don't think we can really serve the city as a whole without being able to work together and also build coalitions when necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ms. Hamilton?
Yes, thank you, Jean, for the question. The way I heard the question was, how do we plan on, as city council members, plan on working with other council members? And the way that I plan on working with other council members is identifying the 5 key things that are wrong in my district and going to other constituents and asking them if they have a solution and how can I implement what's going on right in their district or in their at-large position that can go right in my position as city council for District D. Like I said before, I do have an animal population, overpopulation, and I do need a shelter. So I know that some of my at-large people do have more shelters than I do in District D because I have none. And I would like to sit down and have that conversation with them and meet with them and see what are their needs too so that we can assess those as well.
Well, thank you very much. And again, thank you all for your responses to that question. I'm going to ask you one more question in the last few minutes we have for the program. And Nissi, we'll start with you on your end. So I'm going to ask you, I was listening to all the responses, and you talked about some of the issues that District D is facing. Economic development, gentrification, crime, quality of life, animal homelessness, cruelty.
Yes.
That's kind of a new issue. I haven't heard many people bring that up, so thank you for that. So this is going to be a tough question because I'm only going to give you a minute to respond to this. But with all of these different issues, how can you have for District D both a better quality of life, economic development and all that, and at the same time prevent gentrification or people being apathetic to what's going on? So you've got these things. People don't like to vote a lot during off-year elections, but we've got a lot of things at stake. So tell us quickly how you can do that, and then if they want to find out more information about you, where can they go to get more information about you and your campaign?
Awesome. Good question. Long question, Jane.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Smashing stereotypes and crisis management is my specialty. I cannot express to you guys what it felt like to be homeless or what it felt like to eat out of a trash can or to live in a cardboard box or to grow up without parents. But I can tell you that I made it. I don't have the solutions to none of this stuff except for figuring out a way that I can collectively bargain with everybody to come up with a grand solution to figure it out together, not separate, not apart, but together. And I need your help to do it.
Thank you. Carla?
Hello, I'm Carla Braley, and I believe that it is extremely important that District D gets the leadership that it needs. District D is a very complex district. I often tell people that some cities and counties do not have an airport. We have an international airport. Some do not have a medical center. We have the world-renowned medical center. Some don't have a museum district or universities. We have all of that, while at the same time we have some of the highest rates of HIV and crime. So it would be very important for us to bring forward stakeholders to develop a vision that put people first, but at the same time bring not only experts that are doing research in the area, but community leaders and constituents that are being affected by and also benefiting from some of the matters in District D. So it would be very important for us to work together as one, to treat District D as one community. I'm Carla Braley, and I'm hoping that you'll touch the ballot on number 5.
Thank you very much. Andrew?
I'm Andrew C. Burks, Jr., and I'm going to tackle it a different way. That is through our civic associations.
Yep.
I'm going to help our civic associations through my budget with money if they're active. If they're not active, they won't get anything. But this will be an annual budget that I will give them annually, which will help them do the things in their community that they need to do. But they will get information from me, and we will meet directly. We'll have complaint forms that will send back into the city council and for me to work on. I'm Andrew C. Burks Jr. I'm the last name on the ballot, and you can reach me at 832-782-0397. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Carolyn.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Evans-Shabazz, and certainly I'm somewhat in line with what Mr. Burks said. I will work with the civic clubs. I've been a civic club member and a treasurer for many, many years. I'm also a member of the super neighborhoods, and I'm going to work with them as well. And I think that that's very important. But more importantly, I'm going to have constituent meetings for the constituents to come out and voice their opinions. In walking the neighborhoods, that's exactly what I'm doing, because I used to be an activist, and what I found is people don't like for you to tell them what you think they should need. And so certainly I'm going to find out what the people need and find out how we can implement those things into city ordinances, programs, or whatever is needed for the city. Because here again, I don't consider myself to always be the smartest one in the room, but I am smart enough to reach out to people to find out who is the one that knows and can help our constituents. And so certainly I am Carolyn Evans-Shabazz, and I am the Communities Council member. You can reach me either through my cell phone, which everybody in the world has, 713-539-4964, or on my website, which is Carolyn, Carolyn, 4FOR, Houston, HOUSTON. Thank you so very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Dennis.
Thank you so much. Dennis Griffin, candidate for Houston City Council in District D. So the question was, with all the different issues in the district, how do you intend to kind of part the waters and get it all done? And that's, again, bringing all the stakeholders that we can to the table, just like I do every day in my role as a union representative. We know we have big businesses and civic associations and faith leaders, and we have to have people who are willing to move past all the old political divisions and old alliances. I'm a fresh face for the district, and we can bring people to the table without, those decades of baggage that people are holding on to. You can find me at dennisgriffin.org or at Griffin for Houston on Facebook. And remember, on November the 5th, Dennis for District D.
Thank you very much. Ken.
Thank you. Great question. Ken Moore for Houston City Council, District D. I believe we have to listen and we have to educate. We have to listen to, like Mr. Burks said and Carolyn Evans-Shabazz said, that we have to listen to our civic club leaders and find out where we have failed them, what has failed them, what has not worked, and try to change that and with bringing the community together and try to find solutions to the problem. And that's where we're going to grow and move forward together and make progress. You can find me at morefordistrictd.com or more4 District D on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Marlon.
Well, you asked a lot in that question, and but it's a lot that can be done. We can all do it together if we come together. First thing I think we really need to do is assemble. We need to assemble our communities together as one so that we can talk about the issues at hand and attack those issues as they come forth. We have to. I got lost. I'm sorry. We have to get on the ground and talk to the people right here that's in front of us day to day, every day, that's dealing with the type of issues that we're talking about right now. So if you need to reach me, you can. My phone number is 832-362-1420, or you can reach me at christianfordistrictd@gmail.com, or my website is christianfordistrictd.com.
Thank you very much. Dontrell, I'm going to do right by you and get your name right this time.
That'll work. Thank you. Thank you. The first step is definitely a cultural shift. We have over 200,000 residents in District D. They have to understand that the issues to get District D back to a maintaining status will not go through City Hall. It will go through the residents. They must understand that. That is the utmost important. Once we get District D to a status where we can maintain, I believe we can control gentrification through steady growth. We bring in jobs, we bring in retailers, we bring in home builders. The home builders that come in are not building homes through subsidies. But you can reach me and you can find out more information at duntrailfordistrictd.com and on Facebook at Duntrail Montgomery for Houston City Council District D. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rashad.
Again, a great question. I think the most important thing is to underpromise and overdeliver. I just want to clarify that nobody has said anything different than I'm sure 4 years ago anybody else that's running for council. What you will hear from me is the ability to underpromise and overdeliver and work effectively to handle these issues and these concerns. I don't plan on coming with a magic wand and fixing everything within a 4-year term. It's going to take time. It's going to take time to work with the constituents. It's going to take time to work with possibly new council members and collectively working with the mayor, which we work and we live in a strong mayoral government here with the city of Houston. Again, my name is Rashad Cave, and I've had a lot of issues that I didn't get a chance to discuss with you today, but take some time. Go to my website, cave4districtd.com, cave4districtd.com, or go on my social media page, cave4districtd, on Facebook and on Instagram, and I truly appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Travis.
As a 15-year civic leader, I know how the city does not listen to the civic leaders. They pretty much ignore us, and we just have to do the best we can with getting things done. But if we fix the crime, if we fix the drainage, if we fix the schools, the economic development will come. I mean, no one's want to come somewhere that's going to be a liability, waiting 46 hours for the police, getting flooded every 3 months and things like that. So if we fix all those things, the economic development will come. If we fix our schools, the really affordable housing will come. But no one want to come where it's a high crime rate, no schools, food deserts, and a risk of flooding at just an average rain, not a storm. So we fix all those things, and I will have meetings every 3 months, as well have a office inside of my district. I won't be walking around downtown and City Hall all week. I'll still be in my district like I have been for over 45 years. TravisMcGee.com.
Thank you very much. Anthony?
Some great answers. We've heard a lot tonight. But I just want to answer it this way. There's always strength in numbers. If we can put coalitions together, if we can strengthen our groups, our faith groups, our business groups, our residents, and bring those groups together, have meetings with those groups, us going out in the field and talking to those groups, I think that we can make a difference. Like I said from the beginning, I think that we've just become apathetic. We're used to seeing things the same way. And unless we can change the minds of the people in the district, nothing will ever change. But we've got to bring developers in. We've got to show something different, and that's what I'm all about. You can get a hold of me at voteanthonyallen.com, or you can call me directly, 281-906-2290. Thank you.
Thank you all. You all had wonderful, wonderful responses, and I don't envy the voters in your district because that's going to be a tough choice. And I want to thank you for, you really have thought a lot about the issues that face your district and the ways to address them. And I can't say enough how much I respect and appreciate that. So thank you all. So thank you for coming out to Houston Media Source to answer our questions that we pose to you, and also letting us learn a little bit more about you so that we can be better informed voters. Every year, the League of Women Voters of the Houston area publishes its Voters Guide. The guide is where we pose a series of questions, like we've done tonight, to the candidates. For a number of those local elections, City Council, you'll all be asked to respond. HISD, that election. HCC, the Board of Trustees, Mayor, and Controller. And so we're going to get those responses, we'll put them together, and they'll be available about mid-October before early voting begins. It'll be available in print as well as our website. That's lwvhouston.org, and the League's 411 app. It's also available in various languages: English, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Chinese. We're also putting together, and I didn't make this name up, this is a real name, the Handy Dandy Guide. The Handy Dandy Guide. There's a lot of new things about voting this year. In May, the first time, people could vote not just at their polling place, but anywhere. Hopefully to get more people to the polls. And so there's still questions about that. We're trying to address those and other issues that people might have questions about voting. All the candidates for city election, all the boards, all the community colleges, we're going to have all that information available. And finally, Monday, October 26th, we observed Women's Equality Day to commemorate the adoption of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. I don't need to remind you all, democracy didn't spring out of a box in 1776. Democracy has been long fought by people who have gone out and voted, and people like these candidates who study the issues to best represent the people that they represented, the people they spoke for. So thank you very much for what you're doing, and voters, we hope to see you at elections. So for the League of Women Voters of the Houston area, I'm Gene Preuss. Thank you very much for watching.